have a significant challenge in this culture. We now know that addictions aren't just the myth that you have to take a chemical. You can be addicted in many ways without using chemicals. In this country, we have over a third of our adults who've got a problem with obesity. Compulsive overeating is one of our major addictions. Sexual addiction, we're now at a place where we have an epidemic, or we have 2/3 of our kids watching pornography while they're doing their homework. And
2/3 of kids watching pornography while they're doing their homework. I wanted to highlight that. That's
34% of them go on to really pursue that and are at risk for what we call sexually compulsive behavior. The problem is this whole field has changed, because when I started, I would hear guys talking about finding their father's Playboy collection. And now I'm hearing people talking about that the level of stimulation, what they're finding on the internet, the answer is no spouse can compete with the internet. Plus, we have drugs we didn't have before. We understand about work and stress, things connected with stress, how it changes the brain. And so it's a time where we're talking about our most significant health issue in this country. And we're blind to it. Because if you look at all the kinds of issues that are involved, it's our most expensive thing medically, it's our biggest problem socially, it's our biggest problem in schools, and it's our biggest source of crime, and it's our biggest source of injury for children, and we as a culture do not want to deal with it.
Is there a difference between a chemical addiction versus a behavioral addiction, other than the way that it's acted out?
Well, what's important is that everybody understand it taps into the same parts of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same reward centers, uses the same chemicals like dopamine, for example. If you have a good meal, it raises your dopamine 50%. If you have sex, it raises it 100%. If you drink alcohol, it raises it 100%. You take methamphetamines, raises it 1100%. So sometimes some things are too good. The brain you can't be a recreational user of meth and not have a problem, see? And there are other things like that. So the first thing that you need to understand is it taps into the same parts of the brain. What makes it different, and especially with food and sex, they are different than everything, which is why many of my patients will say, heroin addicts, cocaine addicts will say by far sex was much more difficult than their cocaine or their heroin.